Layer 1. Edge of the Abyss. The Lie of Safety. At first glance, the edge of the abyss feels almost idyllic. Sunlight pierces through the mist, casting golden rays over the rocky ridges and lush greenery. Birds chirp, children play. To outsiders it could pass for a natural wonder, dangerous but tameable. But this is a lie, a facade. The abyss welcomes you with beauty so it can betray you with cruelty. Here, young delvers train under the illusion that danger is manageable. White whistles pass down fragments of wisdom, but never the full truth. The real abyss doesn't show itself yet, but it's watching, because even in this first layer, the curse already hums beneath the soil. Climb even a few meters and the nausea begins, the headaches, the whispers, and suddenly, the line between wonder and horror starts to blur. That's the cruelty. You only realize the trap after you've taken the first step. This layer isn't about survival, it's about seduction, about how hope becomes a hook. Layer 2. Forest of Temptation. The Path of No Return. Descending into the second layer is like sleeping into a dream that slowly turns into a nightmare. The trees are gnarled and ancient, their limbs reaching like claws. The canopy blots out the sun, casting everything in a sickly green glow. The Forest of Temptation is aptly named. It lures you forward with whispers of secrets and relics, while quietly sealing the path behind you. Return sickness escalates from mild discomfort to something deeper, more visceral. Bleeding from the eyes, hallucinations, disorientation. Your body begins to betray your mind. It was here that Rico and Reg first faced the real threat of death, where the story peeled back its skin to show the darkness beneath. This layer is where delvers learn a terrifying truth. You don't fall into the abyss. You walk in, willingly, hopefully, and by the time you question that hope, it's already too late. Layer 3. Great Fault. The Echoing Silence. The third layer is a vertical nightmare, a vast shaft of nothingness. You cling to sheer cliffs while the wind howls like a beast. There are no trees, no ledges, no place to hide. Every movement is a negotiation with gravity. And then there's the curse. More intense now, more personal. Blood vessels rupture, nerves misfire, you lose control of your limbs, your vision fades, you begin to question if you're even real anymore. The silence is oppressive. There are no birds here, no screams, just the sound of your own body failing. This is the moment when many delvers break, not because they're attacked, but because the abyss strips away even the illusion of control. It tells you, you chose this, you walked willingly into oblivion, and still somehow you keep going, because the silence doesn't just echo, it dares you to scream. Layer 4. Goblets of Giants. The Shape of Madness. The fourth layer is where beauty becomes grotesque. Enormous plant structures from callus-like shapes that collect corrosive rain, glowing fungi sprout in unnatural hues, and entire ecosystems bloom with lethal intent. It is mesmerizing and horrifying. The creatures here don't just kill, they maim, they stalk, they study. The curse mutates again, turning your body into a battlefield, agonizing pain, hallucinations, unconsciousness. It becomes hard to tell if what you see is real. But the most disturbing truth of this layer isn't physical, it's historical, because here, in the shadow of these alien structures, Bondroot carved children into tools. He turned life into research, love into pain. Here, Nanachi and Mitty lost everything, their innocence, their futures, their humanity. This is where you stop asking what the abyss is and begin asking what it wants. Because pain here isn't a byproduct, it's the point. Layer 5. Sea of Corpses. The Experiment of Suffering. This layer is not a sea, it's a wound, a sprawling graveyard of hollowed bones, broken ambitions, and twisted science. The Sea of Corpses houses Idofront, Bondroot's stronghold, where children are dissected with clinical precision and stitched into survival experiments. The curse is terminal at this depth. Return and you will either die or lose your soul. But Bondroot found a loophole, a way to remain human in form while being inhuman in every other sense. He wept weaponized the Abyss. He turned death into data, and in doing so he created Mitty, a creature whose existence is agony, whose immortality is a curse. Nanachi's guilt becomes our own as we witness the suffering that can be born from love corrupted. This layer doesn't simply take your life, it asks you what your life is worth and what you're willing to sacrifice to keep someone else's. Layer 6. Capital of Unreturned. The price of the soul. Layer 6 is a hallucination made real. The laws of nature begin to crumble, space warps, colors bleed, and time stretches like elastic. The moment you enter, you are cut off forever. The surface becomes a memory you can't trust. This is where Vueko Wazukan and Urumyui built a community from desperation, the village of Ilblu. But what began as survival quickly mutated into horror. They consumed each other, literally. They turned wishes into flesh, and from that flesh Faputa was born, divine, eternal and grieving. This layer asks you to confront your beliefs in love, in sacrifice, in godhood. Faputa's rage is pure, but so is her sorrow. She exists as both vengeance and victim, both protector and destroyer. This layer isn't about death in the traditional sense. It's about the erosion of meaning, and how even when everything is corrupted, something sacred might still remain. Layer 7. The final maelstrom. The end of the abyss. We don't know what lies in Layer 7, but we feel it, like an earthquake beneath the skin. Like gravity shifting around your thoughts. It is the final maelstrom, a place so deep, so incomprehensible, that not even the curse has consistent form. What does it do? Strip your mind? Erase your name? Dissolve your body until memory is the last thing to fade? This layer isn't just the end of the abyss. It might be the end of reality. No one returns, only relics, only remains, and Rico is still going, because the abyss calls not with answers, but with questions, and perhaps what lies in the final layer isn't death, but truth, terrible, beautiful, irreversible truth. Conclusion. Descent as devotion. Made in Abyss isn't about survival, it's about surrender, to wonder, to suffering, to transformation. Each layer of the abyss is a metaphor for trauma, for growing up, for confronting the unknowable, and the deeper you go, the more it takes. But still, we descend, because some truths are worth any cost, because some lights only exist in the deepest dark. So tell me, which layer disturbed you the most? Which descent broke your heart? Let us know in the comments, and if you are still standing, don't miss our next dive. Mitty's Curse, the saddest creation in anime history. Like, subscribe, and as always, keep descending.